Hey guys, welcome back to the morning ride. It's no nickname Mike. I'm here as always with my main man, my ace in the hole, sucker free Sunday.
Technically Tyler.
Technically Tyler.
What up, everybody?
He's my dude. Or some people might call you my husband, right?
Yeah, I've heard that joke a few times.
Shout
now.
out.
Thanks a lot, everybody, saying stuff like that.
Appreciate it.
So we are back for episode 8 of the morning
Wow.
ride. Bro,
It feels like we've done no more than 7 at this point, I can honestly tell you.
weird, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we're on big number 8. That's crazy.
Damn, that makes sense now. Okay. I get it.
Maybe that's why it felt that way.
Yeah.
All right, well, anyway. Yeah, episode 8. Welcome back. Before we go any further, make sure you guys hit that like button if you guys are enjoying the podcast. I know that we have a number one fan. What was our number one fan's name? No.
Not Jay. Not Jay.
Not Jay. Who's our number one fan?
That guy.
What's his name?
That's what I call him. That
That
guy.
guy?
Yeah, I'll never
Okay.
forget old what's his face.
Yeah, what's his face? That guy. You know who you are.
Here you are. What's his face?
We do have a number one fan. So if you want to take that place and be what's his face or her face even,
What's her face would actually work.
yeah, you got to make sure that you come in and say hi and start complimenting the podcast. He does it every single week.
Every week. It's my boy, though.
He's a good dude.
We'll name him at some point.
So today we wanted to talk to you guys about, I think, a pretty good topic. A little bit more on the serious side, I think. The summer riding is kind of more of a lighthearted thing. But today we want to talk to you about new rider tips. I think that's a huge thing because summertime, you got a ton of new riders.
I tell you what, buddy. I did an amazing job this week coming up with the topic.
Did you?
I don't know how I did it. Was probably asleep.
Might have been
Usually-
a Google search.
All right. Maybe it was a Google search.
Maybe it was a Google search.
I might have been Google searching while I was sleeping.
Yep.
Could be.
But today, I think in previous podcast fashion, we're going to do a top 10. Because top 10 seem like they do very well. Seems like people understand and kind of know where we're going with everything. So
So you feel like you're Letterman now, huh?
exactly.
But we're going 1 to 10 and not 10 down
Not
to 1.
10 down to 1.
Okay.
Exactly. It's not a
You ruined the format.
like what's most important top 10. It's
all
they're all
inclusive.
important. Exactly. So what better way to start it off? If you like, go ahead and start with number 1.
Yeah, sure. I can do that. So choose the bike that fits you. I know a lot of people come in here with dreams about what their first Harley is going to look like. Everybody wants to get on a road glide or a street glide or a heritage or something classic looking, right? But that's not always the best ride for a first-time rider. A lot of times people need to get on a smaller bike, get to learn how to ride a motorcycle.
Yep.
Before they get going. It's okay to start smaller. And actually, Harley-Davidson has the perfect thing for you, too. We have what's called the Freedom Program, right?
Yep. Freedom Promise.
Yeah, the Freedom Promise. Program Promise. PRO.
Yeah.
We're all pro. What you can do is if you come in and you buy a brand new Sportster and you decide within the first 12 months that you need to upgrade to something bigger because you've outgrown it, so you want to go to a Softail or a touring model, we'll give you back what it is that you paid for that street or for the Sportster model
Yep.
in trade for the new bike that you're moving to. So it's a win-win because you get the opportunity to get out on the road, get your legs under you, so to speak, figure out how to ride a motorcycle, and then you can get into the bike of your dreams.
And I think the big thing, too, is a lot of people will get on those bikes and sometimes they realize, there's some people that realize this is enough for me and they like it. And then there's others that they get on it and they ride it for 2 to 3 months. They get to the point where they're comfortable and they go out riding with their buddies and they're like, yeah, I need more.
But you say they stay on it or you say 2 to 3 months, no joke. I had a customer the other day. He bought a bike 3 weeks ago.
Yep.
He bought an Iron 883 3 weeks ago and decided it was time to get on a Softail already.
Yep.
Now, granted, this guy had already put 1,500 miles on the bike.
So he had his time.
Yeah, he wasn't joking around.
Exactly.
But he came in and got on the Softail and got exactly the bike he wanted when he came in the door, the bike he wanted. But he figured out how to ride a motorcycle.
And he didn't lose anything out of the deal, which is
exactly.
awesome. So definitely make sure, shameless plug, but definitely make sure you're taking advantage of that. That's a great program. And I know they've been doing it for a long time now. I remember last year, it seemed like every time a Sportster went out the door, then they were coming back, within months and saying, all right, we're doing the second bell ringing today.
So speaking of shameless plugs, by the way, I do have a lot of Freedom Promise bikes on the lot right now. These are gently used motorcycles that are ready for a new rider. I got a ton of 19 and 20 models that have less than 1,000 miles on them because people have traded in already. So
and that saves you a little bit of money.
Yeah.
So
why not?
Always nice.
Exactly.
Cool, man. Well, number 2 on the list, we kind of touched on. Avoid group riding until you're comfortable riding by yourself. I think a lot of the times, especially with the younger crowd, a lot of people like to get on a bike because their friends are doing it or their family members are doing it, or I hear a lot of people say, hey, my dad's been riding, so I wanted to hop on and go ride with him. And that's awesome. I love the reason why people are getting into it. I think they're getting into it for all the right reasons, but you've gotta practice and learn and be comfortable by yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before you can learn how to ride in a formation and ride in the same lane with somebody, and that stuff's not easy.
Yeah, and you'll find this out too if you do decide maybe at an early stage to get in on a group ride, because I know camaraderie is one of the reasons that a lot of people get on motorcycles.
Yep.
But the more responsible ride leaders will tell the less experienced riders to get into the back of the pack and not stay in the middle. Just make sure, and it's with everything with new riders, your confidence cannot exceed your ability. So if you think you're a middle of the pack guy, but you've only been riding for a month or two, get to the back.
And when your time comes, you'll know.
Yeah.
If you have to ask yourself, am I good enough? It's okay to not be there yet.
Right.
That's totally okay. It's like
nobody's
anything
judging you.
No, and the way that I could tell you that you're going to get judged way more if you cause an accident in a group,
certainly, yeah,
than if you're being safe. So, and people are going to stick with you. People aren't going to leave you in the dust. I mean, you talk to people and let them know what your comfort level is. They're going to take care of you.
Yeah. I mean, and there's always a sweep or a trail vehicle or something, somebody in the back to make sure that everybody in the ride is well taken care of. But, slow it down. And this actually brings us to our next topic is take your time, right? A lot of people are anxious to get new motorcycles. A lot of young married guys want to throw their wife on the back right away. She's not familiar with riding. You're not familiar with carrying a passenger.
It's way different.
Yeah. You don't have to go 2 up right away. Make sure that you're experienced and you feel comfortable in doing what you're doing before you put somebody on the back of the bike, because you're not only putting your life in danger, but you're putting another person's life in danger.
Exactly.
And the other thing, like even for just a rider, it's not a bad idea for a rider to take a motorcycle course too, because that way they have a good idea of what it feels like to be on the motorcycle, how to go back and forth. So I'll never forget when I got my first motorcycle. I was dating this girl named Ruth.
Okay.
Ruth had never been on a motorcycle before, but she was really anxious to get on the road.
Okay.
So me and Ruth go out, and it was probably only the 3rd time I had started my motorcycle. Ruth was on the back of my bike. We're sitting at a stoplight, and I'm getting jazzed because there's a motorcycle next to me, and this guy's revving his engine. And I'm like, all right, this guy wants to go, right? So the light turns green, and I take off like a shot, and Ruth falls off the back of my bike.
No way.
I rode on ruthless.
It just be like that sometimes.
Ruthless. I'm going to set that one there for y'all.
Please don't click off the video. I love it, man. All right. Number 4. Gear. I don't think we hit this enough in the summer riding video.
Probably did.
But we're going to do it again because I don't really care. I don't like rules. So,
but they didn't watch last week's anyway.
That's fine. Gear. You need to wear your gear. Looking cool is awesome, but like Mike always says, skin on your body's even cooler. So,
I like it.
I think that one's pretty much. Oh, you know what? I even wrote it and I didn't even say it. Skin on your body is awesomer than looking cool. So, there's that.
Especially if you're all tatted up like Tyler, you don't want to lose that money.
Yeah, a lot of money went into this.
Yeah.
So that would. I never even thought about it like that. But
guys.
Wow, did you just put that in perspective?
You got an investment in your arms, bud.
That is true.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can insure them. Is that a thing?
Probably.
I wonder if like boxers, like fighters, can they insure their hands?
I hope not.
That's weird. Anyway.
Seems like intentional damage.
Yeah, it does. All right, number 5. You got this one?
So, yeah, rider safety course. It's not a necessity that you take a rider safety course to get your motorcycle license. You can get an M2 endorsement simply by going to the DMV, taking the written course, and taking a road test.
Depending what state you're in. But speaking for Virginia, yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and that's right. We're worldwide. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Prestige worldwide.
Top flight security of the world,
Yeah,
Craig. The best favor you can do yourself is taking a rider safety course. These guys that do, the guys and gals, I should say, since you like saying gals.
Gals.
You have said gals too.
Like 3
two episodes in a row.
2, yeah. I like that word.
But they have a lot of riding experience. They are really good at what they do.
Yes.
Unfortunately, through all this COVID mess, we have had a shutdown on our rider safety courses. But stay tuned on that, because coming up in September, we should be starting back up on the rider safety course. But there is so much you can learn that you're not going to get teaching yourself riding a motorcycle that you'll get out of these courses. The other cool thing is, and I'm not saying everybody should ride up here today and do it, but we do have a test pad here that's lined for the course. I go out there every once in a while just to do some of the exercises to refresh myself.
Mm-hmm.
If you're ever up here for service, or you're up here stopping in to say hi, or you need parts or whatever, feel free to drop on the range and do an S-turn, or do, whatever it is you want to do just to bone up your skills, because the best thing you can do for yourself is on the road is to know how to properly maneuver your motorcycle, look for escape routes, find your way out of trouble.
And I think to even piggyback on that is never stop learning. Never be afraid to learn new tricks. Never be afraid to really learn your bike. That's one of the biggest tips I can ever give somebody is make sure that you're taking the time to always practice. Like anything, you can always get better. There's a reason professional athletes still practice. So they can get better.
Practice.
Talking about practice.
Talk about practice.
I literally
not a game.
I joked about this last
Not
night.
a game.
But practice.
Right on.
All right, and then number 6 on the list, pay attention and maintain your motorcycle. So what I mean by that is pay attention to your bike. Make sure you're focusing on if it's feeling the same, if it's feeling different, is it making any different noises, anything like that. And then maintaining the bike, because if you're maintaining the bike and taking care of it, for the most part, you shouldn't have any issues.
One of the easiest things you can do to make sure that you're riding safely and people around you are seeing what it is that you intend to do while you're on your motorcycle. Flick your blinker on, check the back. Flick the other side on, check the back. Hit your brake, hit your front brake, hit your back brake. You can still see that the lights are coming on. You can still see what's going on with the bike.
Right.
The 2 most important things to me on riding a motorcycle is making sure that you're seen and that you're heard. And if those 2 things aren't going on, then you're probably inviting yourself to a little bit of trouble.
And that's why you buy a Harley, because you'll always be heard.
Always be heard.
Cool.
All right. So, and this isn't a scare tactic, but I mean, one of the things you need to understand is that there are a lot of challenges on the road for us. There is the fact that sometimes people don't see us, right? And this is another thing that you'll learn in the rider safety course is always maintain an escape route. Find out where it is you have to get to when things go a little south. Because inevitably somebody's going to come over in your lane and not see you. It's bad enough for cars to have blind spots to see other vehicles, and you think about a much smaller vehicle traveling in a lane beside them, and they get in their blind spot, and it's.
And I would even challenge anybody who watches this that doesn't ride a motorcycle. Listen to what we're saying, because you need to pay attention to the same things for riders on the road.
And I'll tell you this: when I started riding a motorcycle, it made me a better vehicle operator.
Driver, yeah, because now you pay way more attention.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, I totally couldn't agree more. And just knowing the risks, like we talked about in the summer riding, you've got your potholes, you've got grass clippings on the road. I mean, there's so many different things, weather changing on you. So just make sure you guys are always conscious about that, and just understand, each situation you could possibly face, and just practice. Again, I mean, it just goes back to what we said. So
This other one I really like.
have fun, don't be dumb.
Yep.
I think that one kind of speaks for itself. You can enjoy your time. Don't be a show-off. Don't be a loser. Don't be that guy.
Right.
Enjoy yourself.
Nobody likes that guy.
Yeah. And like Mike always says, you look cool when you're riding a motorcycle. It doesn't matter what you're riding,
You
what
don't have to
like.
look cooler.
Yeah. You don't need to do anything to impress anybody. You're already impressive. You
Yeah.
made a great decision.
I mean, my wife just tells me all the time that I'm a badass.
Exactly. Who wouldn't want to hear that every day?
I'm getting tired. No, I'm not getting tired. I'm just kidding. All right, guys. So this is another thing we talked about with summer riding. It's preparedness. Make sure when you're out on the road, you have everything that you need to accomplish what it is that you need to accomplish. If you know that the weather's going to turn sour, there's no shame in putting a backpack on with your rain gear in it if you don't have bags. If you have bags, then obviously your rain gear is already there.
Mm-hmm.
I know me personally, like one of my preparedness tools, and this doesn't really exactly apply to motorcycles, but every time I go to Alaska or what's the state right beside Alaska?
Canada.
Canada?
Canada.
Yeah.
I think that's how they pronounce it.
Whenever I go up there, I take peas with me.
Why do you take peas?
The
vegetable?
The vegetable peas, yeah.
All right.
Well, so when I go to Alaska or places like that, like Canada, Upper Canada.
Yeah. Where
where
Canadian
the-
bacon came from.
I think
No?
that's ham.
That's right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But whenever I go to places like that, I like to commune with nature, if you will.
Okay.
Look at me. I'm a naturalist.
Yeah.
Member of the Audubon Society
see it.
since 1974.
I see it.
I wasn't even born then.
I don't know, man. You're old.
Yeah. So I like to commune with nature. I go out, I hike, I backpack. And, when you do stuff like that, you have to camp.
Mm.
But a lot of times when you're in Canada or Alaska, you're camping out on frozen water, right? And one of the risks that you have to assume when you're out there in preparedness is that there's going to be polar bears. They are native to the land.
Sure.
So you want to make sure you're safe. So what I typically do when I go out there is you got to make sure you can trap these polar bears because they will get you.
Mm-hmm.
I cut a hole in the ice, all right? Big enough for a polar bear to fit in.
Okay, that's a big hole.
Yeah. Then I line the hole with peas, and
Okay.
it doesn't really matter if they're fresh or frozen
Okay.
because it's cold. They're going
I
to
was
freeze.
going to say they're
anyway.
going to freeze
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
that's
Okay.
true.
True.
Very observant.
Okay.
So you line the hole with peas, and when a polar bear comes up, when he goes to take a pee, you kick him in the ice hole. That's how you make sure you're safe, and that's preparedness.
I think you broke me.
You can't cut this.
I'm not cutting it. Oh,
This is what I told my wife about.
I'm
I don't
so-
tell you these
I'm
jokes.
so glad you don't tell me these beforehand. I never know when it's turning into a joke or not. Oh my god.
All right, so guys, the last tip is what just happened to Tyler. Don't give up.
Don't.
Tyler gave up.
I'm about to give
Tyler
up.
gave up on himself.
Yeah.
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
If you get frustrated with the bike, just realize you probably just need more practice.
Yes.
I think probably people have heard the saying, if the pony throws you, you got to hop back on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jump right back on the horse. Just keep practicing. Get out there. And like I said, if you need to come up to the pad to practice stuff, get up here.
Yep.
We don't want to see discouraged riders. If you're out there nervous, you're probably a danger to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So familiarize yourself with your bike.
And if you're not sure about something, ask for help. There's so many resources. I know anybody down here would be willing to help anybody out. And
I've had a couple sales reps in the past week teach people how to do simple things.
And it's free. Come talk to us. We just come have a conversation.
Yep.
That's all we ask. So that's pretty much it for the main segment of today's show. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that as much as
Hopefully
I
you're
did.
still here.
Yeah, because that was great. We're gonna hop
Kick
right
them in the ice hole.
Kick him in the ice hole. I'm gonna start using that. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into the deals of the month. They're pretty much the same as what they were last week. We just have one less deal going on. But we do have the helmet trade-in going on every Sunday. So I'm interested to see by the end of today, because if you don't know this, we record the day before we post, so Sunday mornings. I'm interested to see how many trade-ins we get this Sunday. But 20% off if you trade in a DOT-approved helmet, and you'll get 20% off one of ours. So pretty
Not
cool
a bad deal. Not a bad deal.
Still running the
20%
exhaust.
off the exhaust.
Yep.
Yeah, in stock exhaust.
Yep, and that's through the 30th of this month.
Mm-hmm.
So you got time. I know we are revisiting that to see, because we've had actually some pretty decent success with that as well. So I believe it's actually going to be this next week. We're going to revisit that deal and see if there's anything we can do to possibly extend it. So that'll be cool.
And then the last thing, I don't know if anybody has been in and seen the balance bikes for kids, the Iron E bikes. We're doing 25% off of those right now until June 17th.
Yep. So when you see this, only 2 more days.
2 more days. Yep.
But they're awesome.
They're cool.
I've seen a lot of cool videos of kids taking those off jumps and on the dirt and just enjoying it.
I rode one.
Did you?
Yeah.
Which one, the 12-inch or the 16?
16.
Really?
Yeah. It went slow, but, I mean, I'm a big dude. No, but when kids get on them, they scoot. They're cool. They're really cool.
All right, man.
Near and dear to your heart, right?
Yeah, events. Thank goodness, bro. I missed. This last weekend was so good for me because I was just excited to have people around again.
It was awesome because I'm kind of I don't know if anybody has ever gotten this feeling through the podcast or whatever, but I'm kind of a social butterfly.
He's kind of a big deal is what he's trying to say.
He said it.
Yeah.
It's true.
Social butterfly, yep.
Social butterfly. So, I mean, it was really nice for me to get out and talk to the vendors,
yep.
Talk to the people that were coming by and seeing the vendors. And speaking of vendors, what's going on the end of this month?
So we got the Roadshow Rodeo, June 25th through the 28th. This is a 4-day event. So we are going to have vendors from all over the place.
And some of the ones that we just saw.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you guys watched last week or you saw the individual videos we posted with the vendors, we are going to have all of them back, minus, I think, the lights, the LEDs.
Lighting, yeah,
but I think
LED.
Everybody else is going to be here, plus a ton more.
Oh, yeah.
We've got
food trucks.
We've got Roach's pinstriping. That dude's incredible. He's known nationally. We've got food trucks. We've got, I think it's SPP. They're a mobile performance tuning. They do some incredible stuff. I mean, it looks like a mobile garage. It's so cool, their setup.
I don't want to promise anything, but there might be beer.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Maybe. Yeah, but make sure you guys come down. Come down every single day. We're going to have stuff going on.
Yeah, I'll be here.
Yeah, exactly. Mike's here every day.
Mikey liked it.
And then shortly after that, on July 11th, we actually have the Sons of Poseidon poker run. And that is going to be making several stops throughout Virginia, of course. But it's going to end at Bayside. It's going to end in a party.
Biggin.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot of poker runs are trying to end here this year. Which
seems pretty awesome to me.
I'm excited about that because it ends in a party.
We've got the space. We got the place. You got the face. Come get a taste. I don't know.
I like it.
I just made that up.
Hey, that was good. So make sure you guys don't miss out on our events.
Dun 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 dun. This week in Harley-Davidson news.
You've been waiting to do that.
Absolutely.
So this I thought was super cool. So since I researched it, I'll read off what it is, but I want to know your opinion on this.
Okay.
So Harley-Davidson filed for a gyroscope patent.
Saw that.
To add to its bikes moving forward. So if you don't know what a gyroscope is, essentially it's a balancing mechanism.
Look it up.
Yeah, look it up. Google it. And
watch how it's made.
They probably have an episode.
They did. I watched it the other
That's
night,
awesome.
yeah.
I love that show. But it's basically an electric motor that spins when, in this case, it'll be while the bike is at low speeds, which from what I was reading, it was talking as low as under 3 miles per hour. But it's meant to help the bike balance itself when you're not going fast, so that way you don't tip the bike over.
So
or
it's a
set it
stabilizer.
down. Exactly. And that is something that's built into a lot of products, and why it is not... After I read this, I was like, why is that not already a thing? That's incredible. If it works the way that they said it would, and I was looking up like the diagrams and it was showing like how it was built, this seems like such an ingenious product. I cannot believe why it's taken this long. And the best part
for
is... For
any motorcycle manufacturer to put it in?
Well, for Harley specifically.
But any motorcycle manufacturer?
Any motorcycle manufacturer.
I like to whisper.
But the way I see it is, I mean, that's when it seems like people set bikes down the most. Is
slower speeds. Yeah.
And it just seems like such a... I mean, I'd have to watch a proof of concept video to see how effective it really is. But from what I was reading, that sounds pretty incredible.
I mean, sometimes companies file patents out of left field, but I mean, this seems like something that's very like usable.
There was a lot of information behind it, which is why I believe it. I do know sometimes companies will file it just so other people can't.
Right.
Which I'm hoping that's not the case, but so far from what I've read, it sounds like this is really important because it was going as far as saying that even the bikes in their current lineup can be outfitted with this. There's already spots where they're going to put the gyroscope, which that I thought was really cool. And I don't think there would be that much information out there if they weren't serious about it. So
awesome.
I'm excited about it.
I don't know how to speak Italian, so I don't know how to do this one. Dun, 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 dun. This week in the Ducati news.
We'll go with that. So this one I thought was really interesting because Ducati seems to intimidate a lot of people.
Yes, I don't know why.
I don't know why either, especially with their entry-level stuff. A lot of it is small, a lot of it is very easy to get on and just go ride and enjoy.
Some of them are for tall boys.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, what do they call those? The ones
like the hypermotard.
Yeah, the adventure bikes.
Yeah.
I can never remember the term adventure bike. I don't know why, but yeah.
You're not adventurous.
I guess not. I'm boring.
Look at you.
But Ducati has announced 2020 Ducati Scrambler 62 as the model, which is actually Ducati's lowest priced and lowest displacement scrambler. I thought that was pretty interesting. It comes with a 399cc L-twin engine. Now, of course, they're rounding that up to 400 because 399 just doesn't sound like a lot. Yeah, and it does sound kind of dumb. But, yeah, 400 cc's. That's a smaller engine.
Yeah.
So they're really going entry level on this. And it said that they were specifically targeting the younger demographic, and they're trying to get people in at that younger generation.
All right, man. So we get to the awkward part of the show, right? We just don't really know how to land this plane. It's pretty awesome. Take off. We get at cruising altitude. You and I get going. We forget how long we've been talking.
The camera shuts off.
Camera stops recording.
Record limit.
We have to start again.
Yep.
And now we have to land the plane.
Is this the part that makes you sad?
Speechless. No, I'm not sad. I'm actually happy. I need to go sell motorcycles.
I need to go edit, so.
Yeah. Hey, check it out, guys. Technically Tyler. No nickname Mike. Mikey liked it.
And we're out.
But you've been on the morning ride, and now we're out.
And now we're out.